So we are preparing for Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, the day of forgiveness. What is Yom Kippur? What is expected? What do we expect in Yom Kippur? What is expected of us? How do we align with the day of Yom Kippur, which is the holiest day of the year? It's the day that the Kohen Gadol goes into the Kodesh Kodeshim, and if he wasn't 100% aligned, then he would not walk out of there. It was no jokes. It was preparation upon preparation for days and weeks. Everybody was waiting, and for him to get it right, and we all counted on him for that moment to align. So, machshava dibur ma'aseh. Machshava dibur ma'aseh. Machshava is thoughts. Dibur is speech. Ma'aseh is action. Everything that we do in this world or anywhere else, but let's just say about this world we're talking about here, and this consciousness and Olam Asiyah and Malchus, anything that we do, a thought, a speech, and an action, a different action, is a yichud. It's a relationship. It's an achdus. There is different levels of relationships. I can have a thought. My thought has a yichud with another thought, and therefore there is a yichud in thought. That's why we have to be matar the thoughts. Dibur, I can say something, and I'm making a connection. I ask for something, or if I say something, or something is said back, that is a no talk, no dibur goes in vain. Anything you speak, no matter what, no matter where, goes somewhere. It gets it makes a connection with something. And in case I forget, that's why we do a Taurus Nadarim. We do a Taurus Nadarim to untie anything that we purposely or unpurposely tied ourselves into to free ourselves from that. And then we have Kol Nidre. We'll get back to that, B'ezrat Hashem, soon. And then we have Ma'aseh. We have actions. Action, physical action, is the strongest yichud in the most physical way. It's the strongest yichud. And from here it goes, this is the ultimate yichud, which means that what we do here in this world, we do something for neshama down here. It's the ultimate tikkun for anything that's going on up there. All the worlds are waiting for us to do something in action, and from this action is the final nail into the coffin. Okay, Abba Yasad Brata, the final nail, and that changes everything. Now, what is an action? An action is the perfect alignment of an action is when everything is my thought, my dibur, and my ma'aseh are aligned. My machshava is clear. I'm very aligned. I'm very aligned with what there's a clean process. There's a clean thought. It's tahara. It's kedusha. Once one does an action from that place, that is the perfect alignment of everything. Now, what happened is that since Mitzrayim, since Galus, there hasn't been we don't stand a chance of doing a proper action, of doing an action that is perfectly aligned. Why? Because since in order for there to be a perfect birth, a perfect alignment, there has to be chovas hadas, menuchas hanefesh, because high conscience only operates when there is perfect alignment, when there is peace and harmony. And since we are in Golus, in Chutz La'aretz, there is no peace and harmony. There is no peace and harmony because what happened is that we are under the Ayin Saram, which means that we are under a filtration system. The temperature of the energy that we operate from is wind on it's turned up at a very high pitch, and therefore there is no perfect yichud. There is no perfect yichud. So let's go in over here, and we'll go further with that. There's no further yichud except for. And even when there is a yichud between a husband and the wife, when there's a relationship, as we come in, the bodies that are being created are already coming from a place that comes from a place of conflict, from a place of restriction, because it's coming into a place of Golus. Except for the tzaddikim, they Shevet Levi, they never went into Golus. They were even in Mitzrayim. They were sitting in perfect alignment, and that's why Moshe Rabbeinu gave them the Torah. He gave it to them. And they are the ones that are carrying the Aron and the Mishkan. They are the ones that are carrying the proper alignment to the end of time. They're holding it without it being tainted or twisted, because they never went into Golus. They never went into this Avodah Kasha. What does that mean? So we have here, going back to Parshas Lech Lecha, where the Eibishter shows Avram the stars. He shows him everything that's going, the amazing alignment, consciousness, Yechida, and all that. And Avram says, I want this for all my children. And so they go, and the Eibishter tells him to bring the karbonas, and there's a bris ben Absarim, and and the Eibishter tells Avram, Yoda Terik Iger Yezaracha Be'eretz Loi Lahem Vavadim Ve'ini Oisam. So there's two words here that we want to pay attention to. Eretz, loidahem, Eretz, which means and the land. Land means and in simple language it means the ground, earth, malchus. Ve'inu oisam, and they're going to be. Inu means pain. There's going to be a lot of pain. Ve'inu oisam, they're going to be pained. Okay. Going further down over here is once again we have over here where Yitzchak is Avram was digging the Be'eres, and the Pelishtim covered it, and then Yitzchak did the same thing, and it says Vayimalim Pelishtim, they filled it up back with earth. Okay, earth, once again, earth is Offer is earth, which is Malchus, which is ground. Then we're going into Parsha Shemos, when we were in Mitzrayim, and we started off with the problem of the problem with the Yidden, that we were becoming too much, and the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians, were getting a little worried. So Havan is Chakma Pen Yirba. So what did they say? Once again, the word anoise, which is Ya'anu, and then the pasuk after says V'chasher Ya'anu oise Ken Yirba V'chen Yifritz V'kitzim Ipnei B'nei Yisrael. The more they pained us, the more they pained Yisrael, the more we were Ken Yirba V'chen Yifritz Matzach mehr verspreit. The more we came, the more we were multiplying. So what happened is that the perfect plan of the Egyptians, they were very smart people. They had all types of, they were the Chatimim, and Pare was, the Ari Kodesh says that it was at the level of Moshe Rabbeinu, and his level of Tumah, and his level of Umazeh, obviously, with his Chachma. So what we see over here, the perfect plan happened was that as long as the Yid has his head above the ground, and he's in as we know, Das Elyon, the Menuchas HaNefesh and the Chavas HaDas, then he is aligning and he's bringing in high conscience into the world, and he's making a yichud with his machshava, dibur, and maisa, which means that a yid can put a nail in a wall and there is worlds are being created, because he's in alignment with Eibishter, he's in alignment with Creator, with Yechida. But once we drowned the Yid we threw the children into the water, which means that we threw the bodies into Ya'anu, into a pain, into a process of pain, into a process of a lack of, there was confusion, there was Bahala, there was Avodah Kasha. Once a Yid is in Avodah Kasha, anything he does, it instead of it being in Yichud with Agdus, with Yichud Hashem, he is making a Yichud through the Ein Sarim. He's making a Yichud through, which means that we're multiplying, but going through a filtration system. So the more pain comes into the more, if we're not aligned, the more pain comes into the world. Which means as follows: the only Bria in Vel that can create as we know here in Welt, is a Yid, because we have the Lashon HaKodesh, we have the holy tongue, which is the language of creation. And in order for there to be anything, the Yid has to create. But if we are creating, then the Nachash has nothing left. All the Ein Sarim have nothing. So once the Yid is being put in under the under the blanket of Ein Sarim, that's when they get chiyas. Now, they get chiyas. Their consciousness is a lower consciousness. It's a place of pain and conflict. And that's what we are producing. We're producing more pain and more conflict. But this is how it is by design. We're not going to get into that right now. We want to get to a point, which means that one can ask, why the pain? Who gains? Who gains when I'm in conflict, when one is in confusion and there's a koitze ruach, there's no breath? Who gains from that? Who gains is the Ein Sarim. They gain. The Klippa gains from that, and we lose because we are suppressed. We are deep. We get deeper sunken into the ocean, and from that place there is barely a breath for to breathe. But the other side, the Sitra Achra, that's where it's called Yanika, and that's where they live from. So we have, it's today's Tanya, today's portion of the Tanya, where the Alter Rebbe is going into detail. We're talking here about, it goes as follows. In other words, like this. We are here, we are a filtration after three times of Mesachim, separations, from the real, from where we are really, where we need to be, from the Nakuda where we need to be. But says Alter Rebbe that in all the other consciousness, in all the other Yechidim, in all the other worlds, nothing can create a Yesh Me'ayin, because they are Oir with Oir, and there is no Eschachus over there. It's from one light to another light. The only place that can create a Yesh Me'ayin is here in this world, in Malchus, in the world of the lowest, in the lowest level of from all the consciousness, which is Afar. Afar is only earth can grow something new. A tree can only grow out of earth, and it gets in also that when everything grows from the mazel, that everything has a mazel that says grow, produce. But in order for there to be, even for the mazel to operate, there first has to be a seed planted. The seed has to, in order for the seed to start growing, as we know that you plant the seed that's put into the ground has to completely rot away. It has to be null and void. It has to be completely mevatel, because we're talking here about malchus, lesle megar maklum, which has nothing of its own. It has to be, the seed is becoming nothing. Only then can the koich of the ground, the earth, take over and push forward a tree, a fruit tree, and anything that has to come out, it will come from the ground, has the koich to produce sweet, sour, bitter, because it's lesle megar maklum. It has nothing in it. It's completely mevatel, and from the place of completely isbatless, from there it can start. It has the potential to grow anything. Which means that once again, that the only place that we can grow, we are called Malchus D'Atzilus, and Am Yisrael is Shchina is Malchus D'Atzilus. Kitchebrichi is the Midas. So we are here in all the way. Everything plays out from the highest level down to the lowest level. We are here now, planted in a mirror image of. So everything is a mirror image. Everything is mirrored. So we're going from Malchus, the Atzilus, whatever is playing up there is being mirrored over here. We are the satellite dish that's receiving the light that's playing out. We're just here. It's bouncing off of us. That's what's happening up there. But the light comes from up there down, and it hits us, and we are playing it back. We're supposed to bring the light here into earth. Now, there's one more idea, is that the koyach that the ground has is because it's something called archoizer. which means that the light comes and it hits all the way from the top, and it comes to a place that it can't hit anymore because it hits Afar, and Afar does not know the language to it, doesn't know how to open it up, so it becomes the seed becomes completely null and void because it doesn't know how to translate the light. I think I'm making myself clear, but if not, you'll get it anyways. So we are the seed planted here in Mother Earth. We are the seed. The seed is Bnei Yisrael. The seed is planted in the depth. It's planted in the depth of your heart. Each and every one of us in the heart. That's where we have the seed of Shechina, which is called ultimately Yechida Shebenefesh. This is what we're tapping into. We're tapping into Yechida Shebenefesh. Oneness with the nefesh, which means that each and every one of us has his own language, his own expression, his own Yechida Shebenefesh. It's about finding your seed, finding your voice. We started off with the shofar. Now, in order for us to counter to have a proper yichud from machshava dibur ma'aseh, we have to counter that with something else called inui, something else which is called a painful process. And this is what the Torah tells us, that we have to go through a process, a painful process, which is called inui, which is called a pain. And from that place, we are makrev the carbon, which is our behema, which the seed is planted into. The seed is planted into the behema, which is, we're in olam asiyah, which is olam ha-behema. Okay, we have the nefesh elokus, the nefesh ha-bahamas. And from that place, do not do any melacha on this day. This is the day. Whoever does not go through this process of fasting, of se'ina, of inui, you'll be cut off. Why? Because the only way to bring to light this seed that's planted within us, deep in the depth of Malchus, is by meeting another Inui that we started off from Mitzrayim, that the Eibishter already told Avram there's going to be v'gam that we're going to be pained in Golus. The only way to counter that is, we have to go ruach eser ruach. You have to counter a high vibration with another high vibration. So we are in pain, we're in confusion. So we're countering that with an intentional process of inui, of pain, which is sacrificing a day of the nefesh Bahamas. He wants, he needs, he's calling out, and we're saying no. That triggers the seed that is planted in Malchus, and that is bringing us to a place of Kodesh Kodeshim, which is happening on Yom Kippur. And this is the Day of Atonement, which means that you don't have to do nothing. All you got to do is fast. By fasting, we're sacrificing the behema. You're shutting down one painful process by an intentional painful process. And with that, once you drive it intentional, you bring it into Rachel Mavaka al B'nei. She resides at the bottom of the heart, and that's where we find, that's where the connection is with Ekev, with Yaakov, and that's how we bring the Yechida Shebenefesh. Now, Yom Kippur is the only day of the year that we have a chance of having a yichud of machshava dibur ma'aseh with a perfect alignment with the level of a tzaddik, kodesh kodeshim. And from that place is where we find a kodesh kodeshim, is that's where we have a proper alignment with Yechida Shebenefesh. So tomorrow is the day. I just want to bring one more point. It says be'etzem al yom hazeh. Be'etzem al yom hazeh v'nichas, it says twice. Lo yisena be'etzem al yom hazeh. Also it says by Akedes Yitzchak, it says V'ikra Avram Shem Makam Hu Hashem Yira Hashem Hayom Bahar Hashem Yira. Once again, says Rashi Hayom. We're talking here about Kadesh Hayom Hayom Azel B'chol Doris Abon Bahar Hashem Yira Afra Shel Yitzchak Tzulver V'oim L'Chapar, which means that Efer Shel Yitzchak is the Akedah, which after that Avram burned the oil. He brought it as a carbon from the ashes of that is, we're tapping in from one. That Efer is almost like the Parah Aduma. You plant something and then you need that magic touch, that little medicine that you put on top for the plant to make it grow. That little sparkle, that gives it the kick, the extra spice, the black pepper, the salt, the honey. That's what brings it. That's what makes it grow exactly where you need it to go. So by fasting, we are activating the Efer, our Malchus, our offer, with the offer from Yitzchak Avinu, which brings it in, which that brings it to Yechida, Shebenefesh, it brings it up to the Akid, which is all, everything is in oneness. We're going into oneness. So there should be an easy fast. There should be a meaningful fast. It should be a fast of, we should stop with the Bahala, stop with the doubt, stop with the questioning. We should have finally, once and for all, there should be a proper bitter of Klippus Noiga with the Sveikis. Enough with the Sveikis, we should step into the Vadei. Tavshin Pei Gimel, we have the Aleph, the base, and the Gimel, which is the Geula. Also the Goimel Dalam. He gives Gemilas Chasadim for the poor. This is going to be the year that we're stepping into Yechida Shebenefesh. So you should find your voice, find your ois, and scream out. There's also one more Nekida from Mekita Maram, from Rab Nachman, where he's talking about Bria Chadasha. Okay, we'll follow up with another one, with another message. Have an awesome day, and fine.